Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Sonia Jenifer Rayen from the School of Computing, Department of Computer Science, Sathyabama Institute of Science and Technology. Today, I'm here to take a session on human-computer interaction, and the topic for today's discussion is going to be interactive design basics. Design is a very important concept where we have to give importance. Generally speaking, in a software development cycle, it consists of 5 phases: the analysis phase, the design, the coding, the implementation, as well as the maintenance. Basically speaking, in case of the analysis, we collect the requirement from the user, what the user expects. The design phase is where a blueprint of the requirements is being formed. Once the design is over, we go with the coding, the actual implementation of the project. And then comes the testing. Testing here, we test for 2 things. One, whether the user's requirements is being satisfied or not. The second, are there any bugs? Okay. Once you deploy our product, why do we maintain it? What is the necessity? Again, here comes reinforcement learning to maintain the customer's relationship. So, overall speaking, once we get the requirements from the user, imagine you're going to design an app for a toddler. Will you design an app with animation or without animation? Obviously, a baby or a child would require more of animations. Example, the Cocomelon videos. The same thing, when you're designing an app for a little old age person, will they require more of animation or an enlarged font? Obviously, an enlarged font. Therefore, speaking, design is a process which is going to be a creative one, requires more of innovation. So, as I said, it is going to be the creative process. Obviously, it is just going to represent what is going to be produced during the process. The golden rule of design is that you have to understand your material. What material do you have to understand while designing? First, who is my target user? The second, what is the requirement of the system and how the user is going to interact with the system? Example, I have an ATM machine, I have the user here. However, without the interface, would it be possible to go withdraw the money? This interface designing is something which plays an important role for me to interact with the system to withdraw the money. So, this understanding your material here has 3 components: understanding your computer, understanding your people, as well as the interaction. Understanding the computer here means the limitations, the tools, the performance. Again, another example, I'm designing an app, for instance, any game for that case. Can I just say the app which I'm going to design should always work with an Oculus? Do all of us really have an Oculus? The app which I'm going to design should work with all lay people, meaning I should understand the capabilities as well as its limitations. Number 2, understanding the people, the social aspects, who are my end users. Next, and the interaction. What interaction, the interface, how my person is going to interact with the computer and how are they going to talk. This is actually speaking the basic process of design. As I just said, the first phase is going to be the analysis phase. What is wanted? Once we know what is wanted, we analyze. What are we going to analyze? Are these requirements feasible or can this actually take place? Once the analysis phase is over, we go with the design and then we have something called as the prototyping. And this part is going to be a cyclic process. When I say a cyclic process, it's because once if there are any errors, you can again repeat the same process. Then comes the implementation and the deployment. Here speaking, what is wanted. Generally, if I want to know what you want, how can I get your requirements? Or first, I should either talk to you, I should get like maybe an interview. And what do you mean by ethnic wears? Generally, now the term ethnic wear is becoming very common. Ethnic is nothing but here, as if now people generally think ethnic means men wearing dhotis and women wearing saris. It is not like that. Ethnic is nothing but like a study of the group of people or their culture. Why study group of people or their culture? Generally, again, my end user is going to be a baby. I should target only the baby. And if it's going to be a middle aged person, target only the middle aged person. What is wanted, I can collect it using interviews or by ethnography. What is there and what is wanted? what is actually present there and what I really want from them. Next comes my analysis. How do I analyze something based on the scenario present there? Will it really work or not? And then comes the design. Yes, as I just said, designing is something very important. I have to form a blueprint of the requirements, and this just cannot be on its own. It has to follow a set of standards and principles. And then again, the cyclic process, as I said, the prototyping, and it follows our dialogue notations. It's again going to be an heuristic process, a trial and an error method till the proper one is being achieved. Again, suppose it is being satisfied, and then comes our implementation and the deployment phase. Once that I'm going to deploy my product or my design to the user, I generally give it along with an documentation. Example, whenever you go buy a mixie, for instance, you go get it, what do you get along with yourself? You get a user manual. Same thing when you get a software, they release something called as SRS, software requirement specification. What will it have? The entire procedure, right from the scratch till the end. What is it going to help us with? Yes, it is just going to help us with all the details, the requirements, all the phases of SDLC: analysis, design, coding, testing, implementation. So, as I just told, ethnography is nothing but the description of the people, their culture, customs, and their habits. Okay, the task analysis, as I just told you, the analysis is the phase where we collect the requirements from the user. Yes, what the user really wants from us. Example, can I just go tell somebody, design an ATM machine? And once when I design an ATM machine, what do I have to tell the person? Yes, please design an ATM machine's interface where I'm able to access it in English or Tamil. This is a normal requirement. And I'm going and telling him, design this where my balance should not be shown. I want my friend's balance to be shown. Is it really feasible? This is where feasibility analysis also comes into picture. And here, example of a task analysis. Generally, here, what is my task here? Buying a DVD. Once that I buy a DVD, first, example, I'm buying it in an online platform. Locate where my DVD is actually present, adding it to my basket, enter your payment details, either my cash or what other modes of payment, complete my address, confirm order. Here there are two flows, either a regular user or a new user. Regular user meaning regularly we go with it. So what would be the order? Locate it, add it, confirm. If it's going to be a new person, he will add the payment details and complete the address. Scenarios are nothing but we give a step-by-step instructions or what actually happens. Okay, yes, the steps as we just discussed: collecting the requirements, analysis, design, iteration and prototyping, implementing. Requirements is what is where, what is wanted. Analysis, understanding the requirements, again feasibility analysis. Design, what is the blueprint of your requirements. Prototyping, a model is being formed. Implementation and deployment, we actually implement the product. Know your user. The target audience are going to be our user. We should know our user, who they are. Next, talk to them, watch them, use your own imagination. Designing techniques. There are various techniques used for design: sketching, scenarios, and storyboards. Sketching is nothing but you just conduct an interview. We kind of a rough image of what is really wanted. Like before going into an HTML code, we just draw an outline. This is my requirements. Example, this is an example of a design sketch. I just draw an outline before really implementing it. These are various examples. Again, this is a shopper, Swift Shopper app. Here, a rough image. This is where I want the logo, the map, the products, the recipes here. The second one is going to be the scenario. Scenario, as told, is going to be a story about the user using the app. Again, what is the advantage? The sequence of steps can be easily understood here. What the user wants, a step-by-step walkthrough can be seen. Again, another advantage of this is use and reuse throughout. Okay, and then we have something called as the navigation design. It again goes with a step-by-step process of what actually happens during the entire step. And then we have something called as the storyboards. Storyboards are something like a miniature representation of the comics. Here it illustrates a scenario. First we had sketching, a rough representation. From the sketching we had something called as a scenario, a story based. Again, a pictorial representation of your sketching is going to have your storyboards here. First, we prototype a design. So it's something like this. For example, here, what are they doing in case of a juicer? Get the ingredients, activate the stand, fix it to it, and then you're going to do you fix it and you do the product, you release it, finish baking, and you clean it. This shows the step-by-step process. So three phases are there. We are going to have our sketching, and then we are going to have something called as the scenarios and the storyboards. Another example, here we are having customer chooses a flavor, he pays, dispatcher, ice cream is being delivered to the user. Hence, I would like to just conclude, design is going to be an iterative process, an imaginative process with 5 basic steps: analysis, design, coding, implementation. 3 types again. You're going to have your sketching, you're going to have your scenarios and storyboards. Thank you.